And we're back with Eduardo Juarez of the International Immigrants Foundation. He's an old friend, and we're reviewing everything to do with illegal immigration and the immigration system in this country and what to do about fixing it. And there's been a lot of talk, Eduardo, for years about comprehensive immigration reform, one huge bill that would encompass everything. And then there's all these other little bills that from the left and from the right, from the two extremes, trying to make things harder on illegal immigrants or trying to make things a little easier for them. Among the people who are very upset about the illegal immigrant situation are those in the local communities who say the federal government isn't doing it, I'm going to have to do it, I'm going to have to pass my own local ordinances and so forth. How do you feel about all that when local municipalities are passing federal laws?
Well, we just have to think of New Orleans and what happened to New Orleans at the time of disaster. Who were the people that were rebuilding New Orleans, and what happened with the people of New Orleans at this particular time, that the bad moments have passed. Now they're telling undocumented immigrants, listen, you did your job, it's time for you to leave.
The undocumented immigrants rebuilt that whole area, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And now they don't want them anymore.
And they don't want them anymore. What I'm saying here is that immigrants are the scapegoats of our societies, and this is something that we have to end. We have to understand that these are human beings that are living in our society, in our country, in our land, and that are giving the best to everyone. So the same thing happens with a lot of municipalities, a lot of cities whereby they use the immigrant workforce. And then when something happens, like now, difficult financial situation, then they tell immigrants, listen, it's time for you to leave.
They want to punish the employers. Mm-hmm. They want to punish the landlords who rent to, and some of these towns, some of them near here, a lot of them
yes.
It's happening in many
yes.
towns in New Jersey
Absolutely.
and in Long Island,
yes.
Where they want to enforce laws to make things impossible on the illegal immigrant population.
Well, without that, number one, those laws have not stand. They have been considered a violation.
When they are challenged, they're thrown out.
Yes, they've been thrown out. So, but just the pure fact that an elected official would just think of mobilizing their own community against those that are contributing and are part of our society, it really tells us that we have a serious problem. When we talk about racism, discrimination, anti-immigrant sentiment, has it gone? Absolutely not. More so now, at this particular time. Immigrants are being targeted, and we've seen people that have been, immigrants have been killed, unfortunately. And that is why, is because of this sentiment that needs to change. We are a nation of immigrants.
I know. You know. And, Eduardo, and when you say immigrants are being targeted, that also because some people assume that we're all illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
Some legal immigrants are also being targeted, especially
absolutely.
Latinos, right?
Yes,
a lot of Latinos,
absolutely.
People assume that you're illegal just because you're a Latino.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is something that, well, we can do two things here, or people usually, we would just do two things. Either one is point fingers at others, or two, take the individual and social responsibility to make a change and to educate. And that's what we are doing at the International Immigrants Foundation. We're educating the community about the cultures that are part of our society. With the establishment of the Immigrants Building on 44th and 5th, that actually brings a very clear message that the International Immigrants Foundation, the Immigrants Building, there is an Immigrants Building next to the Harbor Club.
44th Street, right next to Fifth Avenue. I'm very impressed with the address. It's a really nice building that you have there.
It's a beautiful building. But I mean, it's a message that the building sends to the American people and to our neighbors. As I said, Harbor Club, Penn Club, Yacht Club, Oxford, Yale, Princeton. And when these people come to the area, they'll pass through the Immigrants Building. And that is a very, very strong message. Even when our neighbors come to our building, they say, oh, wow, are these the immigrants of today? So this is what we have to do. We have to educate.
One thing about your foundation that I must say is that you, as opposed to a lot of other immigrant organizations that are geared to like one particular group, if you have a Hispanic organization, it's predominantly Hispanic, or if you have an Asian organization, it's predominantly Asian. You have the whole world there. I mean, I go to your, I've been to some of your events, and you have, it's like the United Nations.
It is beautiful, because what we're doing, the International Immigrants Foundation is working with many different cultural communities, and what we find is that these communities have and share the same problems. And I must share, Miguel, that when we started this movement back in early 80s, and I remember meeting with representatives at City Hall. There's a person that comes to mind, Rick Herman, that was assistant to Mayor Cacha, I believe, at the time. He says to me, Ed, we're very concerned with your movement. I said, what happened, Rick? We're very concerned that your events will cause bloodshed in our city. Because in the early 80s, you know, we had this situation whereby there were clashes between black and white, and there was, for the very first time in the history of our nation, that the International Immigrants Foundation was putting up an event bringing the leadership and the community together to interact in one single event. And at the time, of course, the truth that I was learning, because of course we were bringing Chinese from mainland, Taiwan and Hong Kong. At the time, Hong Kong was not part of China, and Indians, Sikhs, Pakistanis, and Greeks, Cypriots, Macedonians.
Let me tell you, the best place to see this, I hope you still do this.
Oh, we do it.
Is the parade.
Yes, the
you
parade.
do this parade
it's coming
every
up.
year
Yeah.
that people should really be aware of, because it's like the biggest demonstration of cultural pride from every ethnic group in New York that I've ever seen. It's like everybody with the ethnic customs, and it's beautiful.
Well, and I say, Miguel, that is the opportunity for people to travel around the world in one day.
Absolutely, yes.
Truly, because there is no other experience like this in any other event.
Absolutely.
You will not see it anywhere else. And this year is going to be on the 27th of June, which is a Saturday. And it's going to be very, very exciting. As a matter of fact, we start the celebration on the 7th of June, Sunday, the first Sunday of June, and then we finish with the celebration on the last Saturday of June, June 27th,
and the parade
with the parade.
Is on Fifth Avenue?
The parade is on Avenue of the Americas, between 37th Street and 57th Street. And I invite you to come back to the parade, and also I'd like to invite the families to bring their kids, the teachers to bring their students, because it's a true experience that is just amazing. Just to experience the music, the costumes, the dances,
is what is amazing, and the music. Yes.
And
let me tell you, I'm really into photography. So whoever is a photographer out there, you want to have pictures of, you know, you can tell people, I've been all over the world, because if you want the ethnic customs that you're going to see in every country in the world, you're going to see them in one single parade.
And these customs are very, very expensive. You know, they're brought from the country of origin, and they're so proud to wear them and share with everyone, you know, who they are and how they dance. It's just amazing.
But also what happens there is I see all these people really enjoying the exchange of music and culture and sharing with each other, and really enjoying themselves.
You know what we do, Miguel, is the participants or the contingents participate in alphabetical order. So you have Albania, and you have Argentina, and you have Bolivia, and you have Brazil, and China, and so on and so forth. So the beauty here is that you will not be bored. There is no way to be bored, because every contingent is completely different. The music, the performances, the experience is just completely different. So you're always looking for something new that is coming, and even, you know, we take you to even far away places like Asia and Taiwan and Thailand. And
it must be very difficult to organize all these different groups to come on parade, right?
It is very difficult. It is very difficult because we work, although we work with the main umbrella organization of each cultural community, many times the leadership changes of these organizations. Sure. So therefore, for us, it's a little bit difficult to maintain, to be in touch with the right leadership. And, but we're doing it, and this is going to be our 24th year, and we're planning something exceptional for 2010.